The Durand Line, Myth and Reality. Story is about 150 years old, when British were ruling subcontinent. They were threatened by Russia, who had already taken over several Islamic states and by then was probing Afghanistan. Potential conquest of Afghanistan was a threat to the British Empire, so they invaded Afghanistan in 1839, but were defeated by Afghans. A few decades, British planned it again. This time Afghanistan reacted differently, and Afghan King Abdurrahman Khan made an agreement with British government. Withdrawal from the areas of Durand Line was decided to avoid any aggression from British. The agreement was valid until King was alive, and after his death, British government renewed the agreement with the king in the throne Habibullah Khan, son of Abdurrahman Khan. The new agreement was called Dane Habibullah Agreement, which stated acceptance of Durand Line as a permanent border by Afghanistan. In August 1919, Afghan Interior Minister Ali Ahmad Khan visited Rawalpindi and officially confirmed in an agreement that Durand Line is the permanent border between Afghanistan and subcontinent. Later in November 1921, Sir R.C. Dubs visited Afghanistan in order to start the friendly political relations with Afghanistan. Third time on November 22, 1921, both parties made an agreement and accepted the Durand Line as a permanent international border. Many Afghans are unaware of the real history of Durand Line, and lately a perception had grown in strength in Afghan minds that only the agreement of Durand Line as international border was made only for 100 years by late King Abdurrahman Khan, completely in contradiction to historical facts and agreements done in this regards. When Pakistan came into being in 1947, it was consciously propagated that with the fall of the British Empire, the Durand Line Agreement is now history and stands null and void. This misconception of non-existence of Durand Line Agreement led Afghanistan to vote against Pakistan in UN. Pakistan was a reality, and Afghanistan was not eligible to reframe the border.
The King, on behalf of the Pakistan Constituent Assembly and
they started supporting Pakhtunistan and Azad Balochistan movement. If even today, Mr. Asfandiar Wali and Mahmud Khan Achakzai, the two big pawns of these movements, are asked about the acceptance of Durand Line, their answer will be confusing, utterly distracting from the facts. In the era of Sardar Daud, Afghanistan's involvement in exporting terror to Pakistan reached its peak, which forced then PM of Pakistan, Mr. Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, to crush it with power. The operation was conducted on orders of Bhutto, supervised by Akbar Bugti. On this response by Pakistan, Sardar Daud visited Pakistan and gave assurance that Afghanistan will not support any activity against Pakistan from here on. Later on, Sardar Daud was killed by Russian army before the Russian invasion of Afghanistan. At that time in Pakistan, Gen Zia-ul-Haq was in power, and what world saw then was liberation of Afghanistan with Big Brother Pakistan standing beside the younger one. Good relations between Pakistan and Afghanistan is the basic piece for all around the globe. And for that, the myth of Durand Line must be killed so that reality takes over and Afghanistan must accept the Durand Line as international borders. Afghanistan must understand that in international politics, myths can't survive in front of facts. Partnering India for destabilizing Pakistan on a myth will never be fruitful for Afghanistan, as Pakistan is not a myth but a nuclear reality.